Two men journey to the bars and restaurants of Scandinavia to find amazing beers, always with the same question.
Hey, what's on tap?
It's time to find out.
Okay, day 24.
Christmas
last
Eve.
day of the calendar.
Christmas Eve has landed.
I know.
Santa ain't here yet.
Have you been a good boy this year?
I've been a terrific boy.
Oh, wonderful. And you're...
The best boy.
You're getting... expecting great things in your... under the tree?
Oh, I know. I've already peaked.
Oh, have you?
Yeah.
What are you getting?
I was a little bit naughty.
Oh, okay. Getting anything special, or are you just going to save it for yourself?
I'm just saving it for myself.
Okay, cool.
I'm not going to let you know what I'm getting.
Well, that's only fair.
What are you getting?
I know what I'm getting, but... we'll say it's the 24th. We celebrate Christmas this way. Nope. I'll tell you later. It's a surprise. I think you're going to be excited as well.
Oh,
so I'll share it with you once I have a photo of it, because I think that you're going to be
Nice. Excited
as well.
Okay.
All right.
Fair enough.
Deal. Not that it has anything to do with you, but it's a thing that I think
it's a thing that I'm going to like.
You're going to like.
Okay.
All right.
We also had our Christmas beer exchange.
We will do that. We will do that next episode.
Yeah.
Which will come out, I guess, the week
between Christmas and New Year's.
Right. Will come out the same week as this episode comes out.
Yeah.
All right.
We'll do a wrap up of the year.
Yes, we'll look back at the year that was, and we'll talk about highs and lows. I know one of the lows.
Really? I have no idea what you're talking about.
Fakakta calendar. All right.
The Fakakta calendar.
Fakakta calendar. That's my new thing, Fakakta. I don't know why I say it, but it's like a
Jewish thing?
Yeah, it's a Jewish thing. All right, so today's beer is from Delirium. Mm-hmm. It's the Delirium Christmas.
Yes.
It's a 10% ABV. You're getting your second Belgian strong ale in a row. Mm-hmm. So I guess we have a kind of compare and contrast analysis of...
Yes, we can.
Of this one compared to the St. Bernardus ABT12.
This will be fun.
Yep. I like the color on this. This is much lighter in color than the...
Almost like a honey blonde
kind
of color.
Yeah. It's much lighter. Much like the other one was very dark, like a dark brown ale, and this is much more in like more of an amber kind of color.
It smells like dishwashing liquid.
Well, that wouldn't be the first beer we've had from this box that smelled like dishwashing liquid. So that's kind of in style, I guess.
It's the latest trend.
Yep.
What do you think?
What
do you think it smells?
I don't know. I don't think it really smells much of anything, to be honest. It's kind of I guess it's a little, I wouldn't say dishwashing, but kind of cloves or...
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Cheers.
That's sweet.
It's very sweet. There's a lot of clove.
Mm-hmm. I quite like it, actually.
It's really not bad at all.
No,
It's a little bit like alcohol heavy.
Yeah. You get a little bit of that Belgian booziness from it.
Yeah, you're getting quite a lot of the and it's not like the pleasant alcohol heat that you got from the St. Bernardus. It's more of like a aggressive alcohol flavor.
Yeah, I don't find
but
it.
It's really like in the way
Yeah.
back of the aftertaste, so it's not
Dominant.
Yeah, exactly. It's not dominant at all.
No.
So that's kind of okay. Still.
Yeah.
But it's got a really nice like caramel, honey, toffee, not toffee, but caramel and honey flavor to it.
Yeah. I like when you agitate it a little bit, it kind of just all converts to foam, which I really, really like out of Belgian ales. Mm-hmm. It's quite nice. But you're right. It does have that boozy kind of alcohol heat in the finish. Which is one of the reasons why I haven't had a Delirium beer in 10 years, 12 years maybe. Like I've tried to... It's just not a brewery that I've particularly enjoyed in the past. No. I'm glad to try them again. Like I said, give it another shot now that I'm better acquainted with beers and what's out there on the market and what I like and what I don't like. Yeah. It's a perfectly fine.
Perfectly fine.
Beer.
A tad on the boozy side.
It is a tad on the boozy side. So hold on from rating it yet, but let's just take a moment and reflect on the box itself.
On the past 24 days?
The past 24 days, yes.
24 days of coal?
Well, there have been some highs. Well, I wouldn't say highs. I would say beers that were better than others.
There's been some adequates.
There have been some adequates. I would say there have been a lot of adequates. And that's really what has been killing me about this box is there hasn't been any like, oh, wow, I can't believe we're getting to try this. Or, oh, wow, that's like was an amazing beer. Because it was kind of like the best beers were the most generic beers.
Yeah.
Like De La Sin's Zena beer was really good, but again, it's the most generic thing that they make.
Yeah. Get it at Systembolaget any day.
Yep. The Alexander Grand Cru.
Yeah.
From the Alexander, but Rodenbach Grand Cru. Excellent beer, but again,
get it
pretty much any day. And there wasn't anything in this box that really...
Nothing that stood out.
Nothing that stood out. Nothing that got me excited.
Nothing that stood out in a good way.
There were a lot of things that stood out in a very bad way.
Exactly, because it was either just tasted like garbage, completely misplaced, or infected.
Yeah. So out of the 24 beers, we ended up pouring out 10 of them.
Yeah.
Which is a horrible, horrible return on investment. Yeah. I would say this was one of the worst expenses that we've had on the show.
Yep. I totally agree.
For the price point and what we got, I am just completely let down. And I know how good Kiosk is. I know what amazing beers they have. I think that's
what pisses me off the most. Because you know that the stock that they have is so much better than this.
Yeah.
So
and here's the thing. So you can find the most of these beers that we've had, you can actually find on their website, and you can you can look and see how much they charge per beer.
Yeah.
So they range from around 25 crowns to, I think the most expensive one was the Omnipolo Maz, which was like 48 crowns.
Yeah.
Right? So and I found 17 of these beers on their website. Maybe there's more now, maybe I overlooked something. But that averages out to about 33 crowns per beer.
Yeah.
And then if you go through and start looking at the other beers they have on their website that come out to around 30 to 35 crowns per beer, you're kind of like, oh, why couldn't we have gotten something from like Abeltoft or Tuol or Other McKellar? Why couldn't we have gotten some from the Molen or the Colonel or Brew by Numbers? I mean, there's so many better beers out there.
Which would have been more interesting in a calendar like
would have been much more interesting. And fine, they had a theme, which was Belgian style beers, I guess. But even then, it was...
But then it should be marketed as a Belgian style advent calendar.
Right. It really should have been. And even when they went into the Nordic, because there was like one from...
one Mikkeller, there was one on
Polo. Two Mikkellers, one on the Polo.
Yeah.
There was 2 Danish beers. The Hancock. And then the Christian brown ale. Christian III brown ale.
Oh, true. Yep.
Yeah.
And then there was the Dutch beer, the Jopen.
Yeah. The Jopen was really good.
That was really
But
nice.
there was the Norwegian Juel beer from Ayers.
Yeah.
Which was, again, not good.
There's been way too many not good beers.
There was a ton of not good beers.
Yeah. And even the ones that were, I mean, admittedly good, but it was just like, why, what is this doing in a calendar?
Right. I mean, like, if you're going to
why am I getting this beer that I can go down the street and get any day of the week?
Right. And some of these are such commonplace beers that you could literally get them in almost any restaurant or any bar in Denmark or in the Nordics. Like the La Trappe triple.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the most common triple that's on the market that is ubiquitous. You can find that almost everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, 3 beers from St. Bernardus.
Even if it's a good
ridiculous. Brewery. Yeah, I mean, that is ridiculous. They could have put in...
There's so much more variety to put in.
Yeah.
The worst thing is when you add up, I mean, admittedly now we've only found 17 of the 24 beers, right?
Yeah.
But when we get that average out to 33 kroner a beer, that really does not equate to a 900 Danish kroner box.
Yeah. It comes out to about
$7.92.
Yeah, $7.92. So, but then you figure like, all right, so I mean,
have to.
I would almost think that your Christmas calendar is kind of a loss leader. Like you put in a little bit more than you actually expect to get back on it.
Yeah.
So your margin is pretty small on these things, but I mean, you kind of figure that there is probably a markup on these beers. So I don't know what the markup on average is for resellers in Denmark, but let's say it's a 1.5x return. So that means that you're paying even. I mean, they made a ton of money off of these things.
Yeah.
And it wasn't worth anyone. I felt bad for anyone that bought this calendar because I can't imagine anyone, unless they were a complete neophyte when it comes to drinking beers.
Yeah.
And they've never tried Belgian ales and they don't know anything. Then, I mean, maybe you'd be excited.
Yeah.
But for considering what we've gotten from the past two old calendars, which were really interesting and challenging, and there was all sorts of styles from stouts to sours to IPAs to things like that. And then last year we had the Brewdog calendar, which had like amazing beers, but they also ran the gamut from the most pedestrian Dead Pony Club, Elvis
Punk
Juice,
IPA
Punk IPA, to the most expensive
ABT abstract bottles. I mean, there was 3 different abstracts in there.
Yeah, Tokyo,
Paradox
the Dog
Fly
F
was in there. Tokyo was in there. We had one of the Dog C, I think.
I think it was a Dog C or Dog E or Dog F or something like that.
Anyway,
it doesn't matter. It was one of the dog series, and that was like the third day.
Yeah. That was ridiculous.
Yeah, it was so good. So we know like how good an advent calendar can be, and for almost the exact same price point as this calendar was.
Well, I can't remember. The 2L one was cheaper.
Was it?
Wasn't the 2L one like 700 Danish or 800 Danish?
It may have been. Yeah, I don't know what it went for this year.
Yeah,
but yeah, I'm pretty sure that it was about 800. I guess it was about 700 Danish.
Yeah,
yeah.
And I mean, the Brewdog calendar wasn't too expensive either.
Yeah.
I think it was like 1,000 Swedish. I really can't remember.
Yeah, which would still be cheaper than this because this would have been around 1,200 Swedish.
Well, I mean, the Danish kroner is like 1.4 Swedish now. It's ridiculous conversion rate at the moment.
And I've seen like other advent calendars, so I know like how good they could be and how bad this one is.
How good they should be.
Right.
I mean, it's not rocket science that it's going to be someone probably into like beer that's going to buy a beer advent calendar.
Because like the Hopped Point SE, which is that one's been really impressive. Because I've seen some other people reviewing it, and it's been like, wow, that's really nice. And then somebody else was reviewing another advent calendar, and I'm kind of like, why didn't we buy that one? Because it's also been like really good. It makes you wish that we would have gotten the Amager one after all. I'm kind of feeling bad that we didn't, but I had high hopes for this because we know what a great store kiosk is.
Yeah,
I was just in there.
I think that's what makes me like even more disappointed is that we know how good their selection is.
Yeah,
we've been there several times and spent. I don't even want to know how much money I spent in that store in the cellar. And then when they put together an advent calendar, you kind of expect it to be of another quality level than what this is. Because this was, hands down, it was garbage. Yeah. I really do not feel like we got our money's worth. Especially not when you calculate it out to see that we spent, well, that they overcharged for each of the beers as well.
Yeah.
Which is just fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, this was a nightmare to go through. I have to say, this calendar was like, for me, it was personally so bad that it made me just like want to quit drinking beer for a while, because it was like every beer was just like, oh, this is just going to be a beating to drink.
Yeah,
and they pretty much were. In the fact that we drained poured 10 beers.
Yeah, exactly.
So, what would you say was the low point of the calendar?
Oh God,
was it the Samuel Smiths? Was it that that one beer that just tasted like bland? I think it was an Irish beer that we just we couldn't even finish it because it just had no...
Because it was just nothing.
It was just completely devoid of any flavor or character or anything. Then you missed the honey bock. It tasted like fresh dirt.
Yeah, I'm kind of sad.
Kind of moldy. It was a bit moldy, I guess would be the other way to describe it.
Not the good type of cheese mold.
No. If it had been the good type of cheese mold, that would have been something. I mean, that would have been maybe interesting. Yeah, it's hard to pick like what was the worst beer of the calendar because there were so many to choose from.
Yeah.
That.
But I think the Lindemann's Cassis is up there because I fucking hate that beer.
The Lindemann's Cassis was really bad, although that Samuel Smith's raspberry was.
Oh, that was quite terrible too.
Oh, that was so much sugar. Mm-hmm. Oh, I just felt like I was getting diabetes from that thing.
That was one that tasted like a hard raspberry candy.
Yeah. It's
just so bad.
Oh, it was atrocious.
I
would say the best beer of the calendar may have been the Kiosk McKellar Pale Ale.
Yeah, that was really pleasant.
That was really nice. And
there was the Belgian brown ale.
Korsendonk, yeah.
I really like that one.
Double Potter Ale.
Yeah, I really like that one too.
Mm-hmm. You know what? If they had styled this calendar, if they just said, all right, so let's just take it as a week by week kind of thing. Mm-hmm. 1 week, we're just going to focus on Belgian ales. Mm-hmm. Perfect. Next week, we'll just focus on Dutch beers. Another week, we'll just focus on Nordic beers. Mm-hmm. Or Scandinavian beers. And then the last week, it's like a mix of the 3 previous weeks with different stuff. That would have been like interesting.
Yeah.
Or if they just picked like, or only going to do Dutch and Belgian beers, that would have also been pretty interesting because then you would have probably got a lot more variety. Or in this case, it would have been 3 more Deliriums and we could have done all of the Leifmans and you would have gotten the entire St. Bernardus set. But I mean, like there's so many ways you can like redo this box to make it much more interesting and to make it much more exciting and actually provide maybe a little education to the region and what they're doing. But there's just like a hodgepodge of like nothing that you'd want to share with someone or like experience again.
It really feels like one of those. They've figured out way too late that we need to make an advent calendar.
Yeah.
What do we have in stock that we have a lot of?
What do you have in the cellar that we can just bring this out that's not selling?
Yeah.
Yeah. It feels like a cellar clearance.
Yeah.
Like this is the stuff that we have that we can't push.
But then again, we know that it's not a cellar clearance because a lot of the beers that we looked up on the website were new in stock.
Yeah. And it also makes me wonder how many calendars did they make?
Yeah.
That they had to have like maybe 50 calendars? 100? I mean, I don't know how many they're selling on the line. They only had 10 in the shop.
Yeah.
So maybe they had 15 to 20 in the shop and then people bought them and then they had another, 50 they sold them. I mean, they can't be selling like a shit ton of advent calendars. I don't believe that any brewery is selling hundreds of advent calendars. I mean, because it's a pretty high price point. It's kind of a novelty thing that most people aren't willing to get into.
Quite a lot of,
and there's so many of them out there now that do this. So I can't imagine they did more than I would say 100 at most.
Yeah, I really don't know, but it sounds like a pretty decent guess. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I mean, Kiosk it's not like Tull or McKellar, which have a large footprint. I mean, Kiosk is a very small niche store in Copenhagen that if you don't know about, you would never know to go there.
You would never know what the stock that they have.
Yeah.
If you hadn't heard about it.
Honestly, I went there like 2 or 3 times before I realized there was a basement.
Yeah.
That's how crazy it is. Because the refrigerator is actually pretty well stocked and it looks really good.
Refrigerators.
And you're not expecting it to be a huge beer cellar underneath. Yeah. So
that's what pisses me off.
Yeah.
It's like, why you have this amazing selection of stuff from all over the world.
Yeah.
And
but why couldn't they throw in at least at a Mager beer? You know,
yeah,
if you're going to throw in a Danish beer, why Hancock? Why not a Mager? Why not so many
Flank
other
out.
breweries? Yeah,
Beer here even.
yeah. Beer Hero would have been great.
Like you said, Abeltoft.
Oh, I had the Raw Power the other day.
Oh, did you?
So good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember that being one of our favorite ones.
Yeah.
Not this summer, but last summer.
Yeah, it was really, really good.
Nice. So it still holds up?
Oh, yeah.
That's good.
It's really, really nice.
Nice.
But
yeah.
So
Yes.
what do we give this beer?
Oh, this one?
Yeah. We haven't rated this yet.
I don't think it's as good as the Bernardus ABT12, but it's not a bad beer. So I'm going to give it a 3.25. It's a little bit too high on the alcohol heat and alcohol booziness.
Yeah. I'm going to give it a 3.5. I like it a little bit more than that.
Mm-hmm.
But you're right. The alcohol.
You like it 0.25 more?
0.25 more.
Yeah.
I think the booziness kind of kills a little bit, but it's certainly drinkable and very nice.
Mm-hmm.
And what would you give this Advent Calendar box overall?
How do we rate the box?
Is
Is it also 1 to 5?
We can do 1 to 5 if you want, or we can do letter grades A, B, C, D, F.
Where'd E go?
I don't know. There's never an E. I've never seen an E in the.
Why is there not an E?
I don't know why there's not an E, because they couldn't figure out a word that was less than D. Because F is fail, and they couldn't figure out an E word that meant fail.
So what is D?
What is A? A doesn't stand for awesome. I mean, B is like below A. I don't know. Before C. I mean, I don't know what any of them mean. But F always means fail. So I can think they just kind of went A, B, C, and they're like, fail.
Well, A, B, C, D, fail.
A, B, C, D, fail. Yeah. I don't know.
See, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't.
I don't understand the American educational grading system.
Well, I mean, we have the
All
same
right.
fucking education, the same system here now.
Yeah.
Fucking
Well, it's not my fault. You guys have adopted to a poor
shitty
system.
fucking
That's
system.
right.
Just waiting until we
Makes
get
me-
the Imperial units as well now.
Finally.
If I was going to rate this box, it would be just the same shit as the Imperial system.
So 5?
No.
No. So let's grade it. We'll stick with our numerical system. So that's what we've graded everything else.
So 0 to 5.
0 to 5. Yeah.
Well, it's getting us 0.5.
I cannot agree with you more. 0.5 right there. This was
It's literally the worst box that we've had on the show.
filled with the worst beers we've ever reviewed on this stuff. I've never given so many beers so low grades.
Yeah.
One where you just kind of flat out refused to review because we thought it might be infected. The rest we've reviewed, but given so many just low 1, 0.5, 2s. I mean, just over and over and over again.
I mean, just the fact that we poured out 10 of them is statement enough that it was a pretty
They were
bad
just
experience.
a beating to try. I mean, you take 2 sips and be like, oh, I just can't.
I'm done.
Can't drink this.
Sorry for anyone who got this box this year.
Yeah, I feel bad for you guys. But I appreciate everyone that's listened to these episodes.
Yeah, for sure.
Thanks for sticking with us.
We'll have a new episode up on first day where we've picked the beers ourselves.
Yes.
So that should be lifting our Christmas
Next episode will be a retrospective look back at the beers we had this year.
Yeah.
And what we enjoyed, what we didn't enjoy. Most of the stuff in this box.
Maybe we'll buy something new and pull something out of the cellar.
Ooh. Yeah, we need to do our cellar beer episodes. We do have those 2 smoldering holes again that we could try. Or did you drink yours?
I know I drank a few of mine.
Well, we had one that we bought last year.
I bought a lot of them last year.
I know you bought one last year. You bought like 3 of them last year.
I think I bought like 5 of them.
Did you?
Yeah.
All right. Well, we could do another cellar episode where we break that out again, because we did the comparison between the American Eagle Rare and the whatever the other, vanilla.
Oh yeah, we did. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know I have.
And this year I got the Aquavit.
I
barrel
have
aged.
either the bourbon or the rum left.
All right.
I think I have the bourbon one left because I drank I think I drank the rum one.
Well, we can compare those in a future episode.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah.
And then, because we had the Killer X bottle.
Yeah, that was nice.
Do you remember what that tasted like?
It was boozy. It was good.
Jesus, fucking chatty catty.
Because that was all right. Anyway.
You remember now?
I do remember that when I had that. Yeah. I had been drinking heavily in Copenhagen all day.
Yeah.
And then I go over to Matthias's house.
Just dying to tell me about it.
And he broke out, like, here, we'll try this beer. I was like, oh, it's
16% beer.
Yep.
Because I really want to fuck with you at this point.
It was...
Showing up at my doorstep, that fucking hammered.
I told you I was going to be doing a bar hopping day. No, you did not. Oh, I didn't?
No.
Oh, okay. So it was a bar hopping day in Copenhagen that day.
Yeah,
and it was a lot.
I noticed.
I told you I'd be a little hammered when I came over.
No, you did not.
I did. You don't remember that?
No.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did.
I was sober.
Well, I know you were sober, but I was not.
That was obvious to anyone.
Because I had been hanging out with a friend all day in Copenhagen, and we hit a lot of bars.
Yeah.
It was a really good day.
Evidently so.
Yeah. Because we went to... well, I'll tell you later. It was a good day. So find us online at what'sontappodcast.com, Facebook, Instagram,
Spotify.
Yep, Spotify, YouTube, and wherever you can find quality podcast
online.
So until next time,
keep drinking, you dumb.